Hey, pretty crazy leak. Speaking of crazy, PS6 is delayed to 2028 or even 2029. But is that really bad news? But good news, Sony Santa Monica Studios are working on more than just a God of War trilogy remake. That new thing that they announced at the Sony State of Play. And because of the PS6 delay, we actually might get this on the PS5. So good news, possibly. Well, all this and more in this episode of Press X Start Gamers Digest. Of course, the button still doesn't work. Like, why would the button work when it's supposed to work? You know, it's just. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, UJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka Technical Issues is also my middle name. I am joined by
John MF Ross.
What does the MF stand for?
Only island I've ever been to is Hawaii.
What about Jamaica?
Jamaica is actually on top of a mountain, an underwater mountain.
Isn't Hawaii also on top of?
Shut up.
We're all on top of it. All right. Now you know who we are and more about geography. This is Press X Start Gamers Digest, a video. Sorry. This is Press X Start Gamers Digest, a video game news show that condenses most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. I was gonna make a frog in a throat joke, but like, you know what? We're past that. We are live on YouTube every week when we can make it because, man, life is hard.
But listening to us is easy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But them RAM prices, boy, ain't easy either. All right. Don't forget, you can support us by liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are listening, we would appreciate you leaving us a review on whatever podcast service you're tuned in on. Thank you. And if you want, you can join our Discord by going to pressx2swift.com/Discord while we still have Discord. Yeah. Things are a little weird now. Yeah. All right. With that being said, let us jump into the gaming news with number one. PS6 delayed to 2028 or 2029. This came to everyone's attention via Genki GPN, which is a pretty creditable leaker, pretty old leaker now I think about it, off of Twitter. And actually, let me read the actual tweet because it's a little bit more, there's more information to it. So, he's actually pulling from Bloomberg. Okay, interesting. Oh, no, the Nintendo part. Okay, yeah. So Sony is considering pushing back the PS6 to 2028 or 2029, while Nintendo is thinking about a price increase in 2026 due to memory shortages, according to a report from Bloomberg. So, yes, I mean, are you surprised by this, Sean?
No. I mean, I know everybody's like, we just barely got into the generation. But it's been 6 years now at this point. Almost 6 years at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, it just feels like everything was held back due to chip shortage, supply chain disruptions, COVID, scalpers, just all of the above. Because it feels like a lot of people are still playing on the PS4.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, this is kind of where I find the community as a whole kind of infuriating in a way, because when we complain about stuff, and then they react to it, we complain about the reaction, and it's just like, how often do we talk about, man, we don't even need a PS6 right now because the PS5 has no problem.
They have barely touched the
potential of the console.
Yeah, they're just barely scratching it.
Yeah, like the the best looking games were probably Death Stranding 2 I'd
Horizon,
probably say
Forbidden West.
Horizon, yeah. Ghost of Yotei. Like those games are beautiful to look at, and it's just like, all right, that's just 3 games. It's not even like
Unfortunately, uh, we're we've reached the point of diminishing returns. So
yeah,
there's only so much better that they can look before games are already on a exceedingly long development cycle. Budgets are through the roof. I
exactly.
can only imagine how long it'll take games to come out. We shit. The way
I
it's
mean,
looking, PS6 is gonna have like 2 exclusives.
we're going to talk about that too because this is the industry right now is having a bit of a reckoning right now, and
Hmm.
like I was listening to another podcast earlier today, and they were kind of like one of the people on the podcast made a prediction about like a potential reckoning that the industry will have, and it's like, yeah, this is actually happening right now in terms of the development cycles for these games are way too long, and the bets are too big. And when the development cycle is too long and the bet is too big, you end up starting with an idea that's like you had back in 2020 or whatever. Your game launches 2026, the industry's
And
completely
now
changed.
this game mechanic or idea is played out. Nobody wants to.
Exactly.
It's outdated.
Hello,
Yeah.
Highguard. And it's a thing of like things has to change, or else the big box publishers, the AAA publishers, are going to just run themselves into the ground because they're not going to be able to make these bets like time and time again because it's too much for them. Like if they lose on these bets, they end up like laying off tons of development studios, and
Hmm.
that just hurts them in the long run. So, a la Ubisoft. So,
I like everybody.
yeah, no, yeah, you're right. You're right. So, like, it is a thing of, all right, PlayStation, who is, you know, the console market leader right now, are saying that, or I guess this is still not confirmed, but
Hmm.
the rumor is they're going to push back the PS6 to 2028, 2029. That gives us, I guess that gives the developers what 3 or 4 years to actually 2 or 3 years to like work on their games, get those games out for the PS5 to hit that console base, and it's just like, all right, make that happen, and then when these developers are working on their next cycle of games, probably consider reducing the development time for these things. I see you shaking your
No,
head no. Yeah,
no, it's not gonna happen.
I know. I know. Yeah, and then the other side to this is that Nintendo is thinking about increasing their price, which is yes, of course, that makes sense. Like they had released their console or their Switch 2 probably at the worst time to release a new console.
Hmm.
So now they're going to have to make these moves to keep their console um, profitable for them. So that's that. Um, the other thing that I wanted to attach to this is that Santa Monica is developing more than just the God of War trilogy remake. And this is claimed this is coming to us from Insider Gaming. So, oh, by way of Sam Spulio.
Yep.
Um, so last week PlayStation had their pretty much showcase level state of play, and it ended with the God of War trilogy remake being in development, and um, they turned around and they shadow dropped the God of War Sons of Sparta, which is their long rumored 2D Metroidvania, um, Kratos in his youth game, and yeah, that's the thing that released. There's a whole separate story about that game because it was very mixed feelings in terms of what that game looks like and how it's playing and where it's at review wise. But all that dropped, and I think there was a little bit of, huh, is that it from this studio? Like
Yeah.
we ended God of War Ragnarok pretty high, and it was like, okay, so there was the rumor, or there was the hints in the game about possibly the next game being in Egypt, some kind of God of War Egypt game, and then we had the God of War Valhalla DLC, which was that like roguelike that when you got to the end, it was, I guess, spoiler alert, it's basically Kratos reckoning with his past self, and
Yeah.
once you get to the end of it, the the person that he's confronted with is a younger version of himself, and it's just like he has to figure that stuff out to become, I guess, a proper god or whatever. So we have this stuff, and it's just like, all right, well, they obviously want to do more with Kratos, maybe with Atreus in some way. And we get to essentially this article where we are essentially getting the hint of, no, there is actually another game coming out of Sony Santa Monica. Now, it is not confirmed that that game is a God of War game. It could be a new property, but I think based off of the stuff that I just laid out, I think it's probably going to be a God of War game, just to um probably just to end this new trilogy, or this new series of games, which it would make sense they would just end it as a trilogy.
Yep.
Uh like what
I mean,
what
they did say that this current arc was going to only be the two games because
two
games were
games,
taking
yeah.
so long to develop. So,
Yeah.
um, we'll see. Ragnarok and this game isn't the last we'll see of them. I guess we
Yeah.
just have to be patient.
So yeah, like I I feel like I think okay, I guess my prediction for what this game would be. Actually, should I just okay, I was looking at the article. Um okay, so I'm just gonna read a part of the article and then talk about my
Hmm.
prediction. So during a new discussion on Reset Era, Shinobi 602 replied, nah, when asked, please, Shinobi 602, tell us that God of War Remake is not the Cory Barlog project. The insider then added that the game is not that far, barring any delays, of course. Not that far. Okay. Not that far off, essentially. He also added that the reveal of this project is expected to be this year, and given the quarter they're targeting, it is likely that the reveal could be at the May State of Play or Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. But Shinobi does not know that for sure. That for sure yet. Shinobi added that the reveal doesn't come by if the reveal doesn't come by then, Sony Santa Monica may have either pushed the game's release or kept a shorter reveal to release window. That's all we know about the other Sony Santa Monica game at the moment. However, readers should take the information with a grain of salt. So yeah, I feel like if the if this new game is going to be a God of War thing,
Hmm.
you know, they could probably just do it a thing where it is Atreus a la Loki, like a God of Loki game, and it's not necessarily a God of War game, but it
God of
is in
Mischief
right, yeah. It's like it's in that same world, but
universe
it's not
world. Yeah.
technically a like God of War game. So it's like, yeah, we had two God of War games. We're kind of done with that story, but now we're doing a story with Loki or whatever. But it's the whole Egyptian stuff that I feel like if
I mean, that was just a fan want. That was just people
well,
grasping at straws.
not necessarily. So the thing that people noticed was that Tyr in God of War Valhalla, when you kept fighting him, the
Yeah.
weapons that he were using were, I guess, all or some like Egyptian themed. And like that was the weird, like, oh, why is that the case here when like he shouldn't have access to those weapons based off of his like mythology or based off of his history of like where he was in that world or whatever. So like that was the weird thing of like, okay, what's going on here? But if this God of War Sons of Sparta thing was instead of a like old storytelling of Kratos as a younger adult, but it was like a weird God of War
It
spinoff.
says beyond the Egyptian weapons that he used, he also used otherworldly weapons, including a Japanese katana and Mayan macahutil.
Oh, oh,
So
so
they're
he had.
just from his travels.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Like I said, people just like to
yeah.
take one little thing and latch on.
Okay, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that changes it then if that's the case because I thought all of the weapons or at least some of the weapons he had were like Egyptian. But yeah, okay. I didn't know he had a katana either. That's interesting. But yeah, it's like I guess I guess in that case that changes it because
Hmm.
I don't know what this next game's gonna be. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Would you rather see them do a completely new IP or would you want them to do like a God of War or even a God of like Loki or whatever kind of thing?
I mean, more God of War is always cool, but
Mhm.
sometimes you have to let the developers. Woo, sometimes you got to let the developers step out of their own box because if they were going to limit them to, I'm going to say quote unquote, but it's not quote unquote, but quote unquote successful franchises that they've done in the past, then we wouldn't have Horizon, then we
Yeah.
wouldn't have Returnal, we wouldn't have Last of Us.
Yep.
So,
We wouldn't
I
have Ghost
mean,
of Tsushima.
yeah, like we'd be stuck with Crash Bandicoot and Uncharted and Sly Cooper. Like,
Yeah.
let them evolve and let them. Like, I'm excited to see what goddamn, what is it? The Heretic Prophet.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Intergalactic.
Naughty Dog's new game.
Yeah,
I'm
Intergalactic
curious to
Heretic
see what.
Project. Pro-
Yep.
it's one of those things.
Tongue twister.
Right.
Let them cook and let's see
Yeah.
what they got for us.
Yeah, I am I'm with you. I would like to see them um do something different. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the combat of the 2018 and Ragnarok God of War games. I My opinion is like I feel like that is the best
Mhm.
of the best that combat has been in that series. Like I'm not really a fan of the old God of War style of fighting. It's fine, but it just didn't really work for me. So I think where they are with that, they can leave it. I think they've told a beautiful story with Kratos. I don't think they necessarily need to go any further with him. I think it'd be kind of weird if they did go further with him, especially how Ragnarok ended. Then it's like, all right, well, I guess they lean on Loki. I don't necessarily like that idea because I wasn't that big of a fan of how Atreus fought in Ragnarok. So it's like I don't necessarily want more of that. I mean, of course, they could make him better because he gets
Yeah.
older and whatever. But I'm just like, I'm fine with it. I think they also can just do something new and like surprise us in Wilds was a different idea. So oh yes, there's a lot of words for new God of War. Well, a new God of something. All right. Um. Geez. Okay. Now we're going to negatives. Number two. Valve confirms Steam Deck OLED stock issues are due to memory and shortage. Oh, memory and storage shortages. Here's what it's meant for the Steam machine. This comes to us from TechRadar by way of Isaiah Williams. Okay. Valve is currently working on its upcoming Steam Machine device, which is a hybrid gaming PC and console and slated for early 2026. But many of us have been concerned that the memory crisis could scooper what could ruin those launch plans. I'm going to say ruin because I have not familiar.
Oh, scupper.
Scupper? I
Yeah.
have never seen that word before. Scupper? Oh, okay. I'm about to learn something today. Wow. Unfortunately, a recent development regarding the Steam machine confirms our suspicions. On the Steam Deck store page, Valve has admitted that the Steam Deck OLED is out of stock intermittently in some regions due to memory and storage shortages, as we previously predicted. Okay, we know why this is happening. This is happening because of the whole AI bubble thing, expanding in all directions and consuming everything that is electronic RAM and now hard
I
drives.
think I saw reports that hard drives are sold or pre-sold up until
Yeah, Western
2028. Western Digital.
Western Digital. I
Crazy
thought it
work.
was they're they are sold out of hard drives for all of this year. Is it
Yeah.
to 28? Is just this year, right?
Let me double
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is a thing that is sweeping
Yep.
everything. Is okay.
Western Digital is already sold out of hard drives for all of 2026. Chief says some long-term agreements for 2028 and 2027 already in place. Um, I don't know what this
This
means for consumers. I mean, there's other people that make hardware, but
yes, yeah. You're not completely up up a what up a you're not completely screwed with the hard drive stuff, but this is a signal that if you need to buy some hard drive space, make sure you get that now because I guarantee it that the manufacturers of the hard drives will
mhm.
also be following suit because they see where the money is going.
It's a good thing I kept that hard drive from the rage room, eh?
Yes.
Little did I know I was picking up literal gold.
Right. We just didn't know it yet. Wow.
Mm.
But yeah, it's as a millennial, it is interesting yet annoying to be witnessing so many unprecedented times and like here we are again, right? We lived through the invention of the smartphone, and it's like, oh, this is going to change our lives forever. And now we're on the like full circle other end of that, where the company's like, all right, guys, well, we're going to abandon all you people for this AI stuff. So good luck. um, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I don't know. I don't know. There's not much we as the consumer can do about this because the companies have essentially said we don't care about you, the consumer. We care about these other consumers. So
Darn them.
yeah.
Darn them to heck. Anyway, go ahead.
Hopefully that bubble pops. Yes, so let us jump into number actually, you know what? Before I do that, hey, do us a solid. We're still here for you. Our bubble hasn't popped. So is that a thing people say? I don't know. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell. Please. Thank you. Keep our bubble going. Yes. Yes. All right. Number 3. Highguard dev blames content creators for the game's failure. It was dead on arrival.
Mm.
This comes to us from Notebook Check. Here we go. Here we go. This is from Abdul Hadi. Oh boy. So yeah, Highguard is not doing too well if you missed any of the news. Before I get into this, there's a couple of things. Their main website is currently down. People are predicting that this means that the game will probably shut down soon because of the lack of, you know, interest or people on it or something. And then on top of that, it was discovered that the game was actually backed by Tencent, but Tencent was like an unannounced partner for the game, which is weird that they didn't come out and say like, "Hey, we funded this game," but
Uh,
I don't know.
the sentiment behind Tencent is not good. Simple as
That's
that.
true. That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, I kind of forget about that, seeing how like, oh, Tencent, Ubisoft, EA, Microsoft was just like,
Mm-mm.
you know. All right. So Highguard turned out to be a failure for Wildlight Entertainment, and according to the former lead tech artist at Wildlight, the game was labeled a failure before it ever had a fair chance. I've heard that before. Excitement around Highguard was strong ahead of launch, mainly because the development team included people who had previously worked on Apex Legends and Titanfall. When the game launched, the initial player numbers were solid, but that momentum didn't last. Within a day, the game lost the majority of its player base and failed to recover. The situation worsened last night when reports surfaced that Wildlight Entertainment, the studio behind the game, had laid off most of its staff. Yikes. Now, Josh Sobel, the former lead tech artist at Wildlight, has shared his thoughts on what went wrong. In a long post on X, Sobel spoke openly about the game's journey and placed much of the blame on content creators and the online culture surrounding the launch. Um, we're not going to get into this because it is kind of long, but this is this is this is a weird, like, he's not necessarily wrong, but like this is sort of what the internet culture is like around games like around multiplayer games, right? Because people are leaning more on their favorite streamers than they're leaning on games journalists to form an opinion around whether or not they want to spend money on a game or even invest their time into a game. So you do get into hype cycles like this where content creators are essentially determining whether a game lives or dies by just like, nah, this game is trash, or like, this is the funnest thing ever. Play this game too, kind of stuff. And it's just like, it sucks, but at the
Yeah,
same time, what you gonna say?
no, they just had a couple things to the downfall, but keep going. I'm gonna list them all.
Oh, yeah, it sucks, but at the same time, it's like at the end of the day, at the end of a day, nope, at the end of the day, not a day, if the game is good and
Yep.
the game is fun, it will survive. Unfortunately, unfortunately, Highguard was not good enough or fun enough for enough players to survive. I was one of those players. I give
Mhm.
it the college try, and I I am not a Highguard fan. Sorry, sorry. So what are you gonna say?
Uh, I also played it. I did not get through the tutorial. I felt like, as somebody said, this was overly complex for a. This game was not stream friendly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
Um,
yes,
it being the last game at the Game Awards kind of hurt it. They originally were going to do a shadow drop. They should have stuck to that. Um, I don't know how much better that would have done the game, considering they were expecting certain numbers because they fired what, half the staff. after a week of it
Yes,
launching.
yeah.
So I don't know what numbers they were expecting if they shadow dropped it. I think they were planning to lay them off regardless. But you got some people who just listed bullet points. It was a highly produced but mediocre game. The core gameplay loop was weird and not engaging. The weapons were boring and uninspired. The gunplay was average. Nothing stuck out. The characters were not likable. The concept and the lore the game was built around was boring. And despite them having, 14,000 negative reviews, some of them, it seems like a majority of them were bots because they had less than a few minutes um, played in the game. From what I played, this would have been a better PvE game or single player game. I don't know, but
You know what?
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't even think this would be a good PvE game. Like, I don't. It could just be me not vibing with the genre this is inspired from,
Mhm.
but I don't see the fun in this like at all. Like because because it's like okay, the goals of this game is to kill the people
Mhm.
to like kill the opponents to progress to their base to break the shield
I'm gonna
to
simplify it for you. It was a tower defense hero shooter, arena hero shooter.
yeah, exactly. But my thing is like you're doing too many things to get to the goal where it's like just let me do the one
It's
thing.
too
Let
much
me do
before
the
you even
most
get into gunplay,
yeah,
basically.
it's like let me do the most fun thing out of your loop. And it's like, oh, none of this is fun. Like none of this is
Mhm.
fun. So it's just like, what are we doing here?
You gotta
So
s- build up walls, get currency, collect a bunch of armor before you even engage people, and
yeah, 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 like yeah. And then like on top of that,
dare I
to
say, the trailer that they showed at the Game Awards showed us the game, and
it did, it really
it
did.
looked like ass, and it was ass.
Yeah. Like I will go even far as to say that the amount of time that I played in Concord was way more interactive than my time in Hell or Highguard.
I
And it's
enjoyed
like,
Concord better than I did Highguard.
yes, yeah, exactly. Because it, like the art direction aside, the actual loop and the actual gameplay of Concord was very viable. Like it was very
Mhm.
good. And it's just like again, like I don't understand how Highguard got to this
Got this
point.
far.
And yeah, and I'll even say that if they shadow dropped it, I don't think this would be that big of a story because I don't think people would have been like, I don't even know what Highguard is. Like, what is this game kind of thing. So like the fact that Jeff Keighley put it on the Game Awards probably, even though it got a lot of like crap for it, it
Mhm.
still probably put it in a better position than what it would have been if it just shadow dropped because it's the same game. It's the same,
Nah, I think expectations were too high.
but like
It, it,
it's the
it
same
wouldn't have
game.
had the peak numbers and sharp fall off if it just shadow dropped and people played it differently. It would have had
Yes,
a slow
yes.
ascent and peaked and plateaued. But now you got all your favorite
Yeah, I
creators.
guess.
This is the new big thing from Apex creators. Like,
I
mm-mm,
don't know because like I feel like it wouldn't have had the it would have a slower ascend, right? But I
mm,
feel like that slower ascend probably wouldn't reach the same peak as like the game awards thing because not that many people know about it and it's like the people who are playing it are like oh this is actually not that great so they're not actually telling other people about it so it's just gonna like uh, instead of like go up and go down so I don't know I don't know but like you know what I got nothing for this number 4 Video games need to be cheaper to buy. Now, this is a little bit of a hefty article from Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, and this kind of gets into the current climate of things and possibly try to be a solution to um, people not buying as many games, kind of thing. Um, so I'm jumping kind of into this article because he kind of like gives like an intro that we'll need necessarily go into. So the this story like takes place at Dice.
Yep.
So he's at the Dice convention. He's talking to a bunch of developers and stuff, and they get into the conversation of Clear Obscure Expedition because it was there and it won a bunch of awards. I think it actually won the Dice's game of the year.
Yep.
So yeah, he was talking to developers, and so I'm just going to jump into the article from here. So at Dice, where executives gather to schmooze down cocktails and hear pitches, Clear Obscure came up a lot. Independent developers
Hmm.
seeking funding were inevitably confronted with comparisons. Well, Clear Obscure did it for less money. Wow, many wondered what lessons they could take away from the acclaimed RPG.
We said they were
Clear,
going to take all the wrong lessons away from it
yeah,
many
absolutely,
months ago.
absolutely, yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, here's one thing I've been thinking a lot. Video games need to be cheaper to buy. Clear Clear Obscure Expedition 33 launched at $50, significantly less than the traditional price of video games, which are usually $70, but sometimes even sell for $80, Mario Kart World. And that's before getting into the fancy premium editions. Clear Obscure also had a release discount at 20% on the PC platform Steam. So so for early players, it was just $40, which made them feel like trem- they were getting tremendous okay. They were getting tremendous value. As the video game industry barrels through the fourth year of a post-pandemic
Hmm,
crisis
hmm, hmm,
caused
hmm,
by
hmm.
all sorts of factors, from game market oversaturation to diminishing appetite from venture capital funds, developers are looking for a way forward. Budgets are swelling while revenue is not. Higher end games have grown more costly to buy, jumping from 60 to 70 in the 2020s, even as cost of living has gone way up in many consumers. But two
I
things have
understand that part.
Mhm.
I'm a jump in there to say
Okay, go ahead.
I understand the jump from 60 to 70. Yes, the cost of living has gone up for many consumers. Game developers are also consumers. Everybody's looking for a raise yearly.
Mhm. Yeah.
Continue.
That, yeah, no. Like that's actually a very good point. Is that one of the contributing factors to the industry, like us having this issue,
Yeah.
is partly because most of the not most like a good portion of the like mainstream industry is in California, and California is very expensive. So they are having to pay the workers there a like living wage, and that's costing them a bunch of money.
Not to
So
mention healthcare costs going up because most employers cover a large portion of your healthcare
yep,
and ta-da.
yep. And that's a big like hidden cost that goes in, or hidden factor that goes into the cost of this stuff, right? So that makes sense, right? But at the same time, on the flip side,
Hmm.
the the higher ups in the publishers, they're also taking
They need an extra boat. They need an
yeah,
extra
exactly, yeah.
fifth
They're,
home.
they're taking home
They
a
need a
bunch load
ticket
of
to get on the space shuttle.
money.
Shit.
Right. When the people inevitably rage, got to get out of here. So yeah, so okay. But two things have changed significantly. One is that distribution has pivoted from mostly physical to almost entirely digital, lowering costs and boosting profit margins. Publishers like EA or yeah, EA might make roughly $35 on. Oh, we got a comment on the thingamabobs. Earth for them. Earth 2 for them. Yeah, you're not wrong. Where was I? Yeah, so EA might make roughly $35 on a $70 physical game, but that jumps to $49 for digital, according to analyst Sarkentoto. If they're kept if they kept the $60 price tag, they'd still be pocketing $42 per digital game and making more per unit.
Where are
So
they getting
that's
this money
interesting.
from? Where are they getting these? What? Oh, okay. Price breakdown of a $70
Y-
video game. Okay.
yeah. So basically, what they're saying is that because most downloads are digital, they're able
Mhm.
to make more because they don't have to print CDs. They're not worrying about shipping and all that stuff. So they end up making more money off of the digital game versus the physical game. And the difference between $70 and $60 is just what, $5 that they're making. So essentially, they could make less per game, but have that game be cheaper so more people would buy the game and they would make more money. Let me actually respond to this real quick. So I I mean, I think that's a very good point, but it is a thing of like, well, why aren't they doing that? If that's the case, if it works out that way, why aren't they doing that? So I'm gonna continue reading. The other thing that's changed is the number of options. In the early 2000s, even crumbly licensed games could move copies at $60 if they were positioned correctly on the Walmart store shelves, because those were all people could find. Today, there are essentially an infinite number of new games to play, including free, user generated experiences on platforms like Roblox. There's no reason for cash strapped players to spend $70 on a game that doesn't blow them away. That's true, because no one wants to buy a game that's a 7 out of 10.
Nobody's doing anything innovative. They're all doing the same game with a different skin on top for premium dollars. They are bankrupt of any new ideas, and
And you, go
all
ahead.
the new interesting gameplay mechanics and just way to interact with things are coming from indie developers.
Yeah, and it's the what it is the whole like the the big AAA publishers do not want to take the risk,
Mhm.
because if they take the risk, these games take 5 to 6 years to make. They
And
put
make
the game
smaller
out in
games.
yes. So they put the game out 5, 6 years later, and it's just like, oh, the actual consumer base don't really mess with this idea anymore. And like we've completely blown out our budget for a game that no one wants anymore. It's just like, ah, well, we've kind of screwed ourselves on this.
Mm.
So it they have to them it makes more sense to be more conservative with their ideas in terms of, not innovating, not going too crazy, because they believe that if they do that, then the games are more likely to sell, because it is more like, oh, this is just a third person hack and slash. I play those kind of games, and it's not hard for me to figure this game out. Sure, I'll
Mhm.
play it. But like, you do run into the thing of even like the state of play, like the PlayStation last state of play, where it's like we had like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 like third person hack and slash games. And it's just like,
Yeah, I kind of got them mixed up. I couldn't tell you
yeah,
one far from the other if you didn't show me the titles beforehand or
exactly,
during.
exactly. And it's just like, man, that's like, you don't think about it until you see it and you're just like, oh, that's actually a lot. But again, it's like, well, that's what people play. So that's what developers are going to make, because they want their games to sell, because they need their games to sell. But it could be $60, not $70, not eight
Yeah,
dollars
$60 is
Nintendo.
closer to impulse buy versus 70, inching ever so closely to $100.
Yeah.
In the article, and I've been saying this for a while, only
Mhm.
the highest end games can get away with that kind of pricing, like
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah. I am I I am so fascinated, so interested
Hmm.
in what like GTA 6 is gonna put their price tag at because
$70.
yeah,
Matter of
that's
fact, I'm gonna see if I could bet on that.
yeah, right.
I'm curious.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that just makes the most sense, right? You just do 70 versus
Mhm.
what people fear, like, oh, we're gonna make it $100. But 70 makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Like I really hope that this generation, the only game that was actually $80 was Mario
Mhm.
Kart World. I hope that's the only game that was actually $80 from like all the like smoke and stuff that the industry was giving us about. Yeah, we're gonna have to make our games cost more because it costs us more to make. And then the only game that was actually $8 was Mario Kart World. That's
Mm.
my hope. That's my hope for this generation of games. Yeah, I said it. Um, are you looking?
Oh, to see if I can bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Some people are betting that it'll be more than 70, more than 80.
More than 80 is wild.
Yeah, more than $100. Mm-mm, mm-mm, not at
It's
all.
gonna lose money there. Um, so yeah, and then this article just kind of goes on to like talk about the games that were not $70 that did well, like Eugenics, which is like a new game that came out by the same people that made Binding of Isaac. That was actually the game that I was looking into getting before the whole God of War Sons of Sparta thing happened. Um, but yeah, I mean, yes. Do we want games to be cheaper? Absolutely. If it's still going to make the studios a profit, then like go ahead and do it. Like we're gonna buy the game. We're gonna buy more of the games if you make the games cheaper for us. So
Yeah.
take a little bit of hit to get more profit. Profit. I think that's the one. Yeah. Okay. Let us jump into the quick hits before talking about the games Sean has been playing. Um, Number 5. Crimson Desert is confirmed to not have microtransactions. This comes to us from Synth Potato from Twitter, Alex. I saw this and I was like, oh, got to put this on as the story. Like that is, or on the show notes. That is music to my ears. I cannot wait for this game. Oh, you know what? You know what?
Hmm?
For the Highguard conversation, I wanted to bring up Marathon. I
Yeah.
wanted to bring up Marathon because, um, how they said that the content creators essentially killed Highguard, and it's like they did the same thing to Marathon, but Marathon,
It needed that timeout, so we'll see.
yeah, and it's like right now there is so much positive buzz that is coming to that game
Hmm.
where Paul Tassi, Paul Tassi has
Paul T.
put
Assy.
has put an article about basically the title, or he put a YouTube video out. The title of it is like, uh, we need to talk about the backlash of the backlash of
Mm.
Marathon. And it's just like everybody's starting to like turn 180 now at this game because like the game actually is looking like a competent game. It's just
Mm.
like you guys are judging an alpha. You just didn't know what an alpha was until you saw it and realized like, oh, this game looks bad, but it was an alpha. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about Marathon. Am I going to get it? I'm going to try the Server Slam, but it's going
Mhm.
to come out like maybe like a week or so before Crimson Desert, and I'm just like, that has my heart. So that's where I'm gonna be. So I don't know if I'm gonna spend time in Marathon. But back to quick hits. Number 6. This is sad. Castlevania and Bloodstained developer Shuntaro Ida dies at 52. Rest in peace.
Rough.
That sucks. That comes from Dexerto. And then number 7, I actually need to check to see if this is still the case, but Xbox streaming apps are down, cloud saves impacted. That's coming to us from Insider Gaming. Let me double check this article to see if it's still occurring. And yeah, there's no update, so I'm going to assume this is still a thing. That sucks. And this is one of the fun and glorious things about having everything be online. And the people in power just want to make that more of the case with this whole AI push. So fun. All right. With that being said, let's jump into no. How do I normally transition? So that's all the news. Now let's jump into what we've been playing. Sean, what have you been playing?
Oh gosh. More Arc Raiders. Just once again, the interactions. Y'all have to go watch some videos. Go.
Yes.
I've been the physics, the storylines, the interactions. It's all great. I got nothing. I got nothing else for that. Just go look at the game in some form or fashion. I spoke on the Ball Pit demo last time. I actually ended up purchasing the game.
I need to get that demo. I didn't get that demo.
Although I didn't play too much of it. I only played maybe like an hour, less than 2 hours of that game.
Okay.
I did buy God of War Sons of Sparta. I did not touch it yet.
Yeah.
I did start playing Yakuza 3 Kiwami. Or is it Yakuza Kiwami 3? Whatever. Damn, now I'm curious. What the hell is it called?
I think it's Yakuza Kiwami 3.
Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. Okay. So, because they said they changed some things in the story, I'm playing the story again, and then I'll move on to Dark Ties. There's a whole controversy about who they, one of the voice actors that they casted for the game. That's neither here nor there. The guy did some bullshit in 2019. I guess he got caught or outed. He apologized in 2022. It may be a leap to say people are grandstanding when they wanted to boycott the game. Whatever. I'm having fun with the game. One of the things that I found funny or interesting that they retained in, I don't know if, I think this is a Kiwami thing where you can get into street fights and you can accidentally break storefronts glasses, like the sheet painted glass. You can knock somebody into it. That will piss off the owners. That will piss off the shopkeepers. You cannot shop there for a good hour or so. One of my brawls worked his way into the store and then over to the frozen section where we started busting up like the glass. You pull out, you get your drinks or your juice or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I try to go buy something after. What the hell are you doing? Get out.
I remember you.
I just found it interesting that they had it in there. A new addition that they added, and it's funny going from game to game. You can see what they, mechanics that they added in. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and Pirate Yakuza. I want to say it was in both. They had you making friends via like a phone app or whatever. They have retroactively put this into this game where you're the mechanic. It's a different phone, of course. You don't have a smartphone in the time period in the game, but they still have you kind of like making friends, and they also have lock boxes that you can open that'll have items in it, which is in addition to the locker keys that you collect and the briefcases that are randomly just out and about. I haven't gotten into any of the mini games yet, other than the standard fare that's in there: pool, darts, bowling, baseball. They're in all the Yakuza games.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like Yakuza, that's more Yakuza.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's getting review. I mean, it's partially getting a review bomb because of the homie that's in there, but
Yeah, that seems to be
Yakuza is
like
Yakuza.
that seems to be the main like reason because even like on Open Critic it's like a 75 or anything, so it's not that the game is bad itself. I think it's
Yeah,
just they are
average.
trying to they're trying to make a statement about them picking that voice actor guy. But yeah, it yeah. Yeah, so on my side, like I really haven't been playing too much because I was gonna get God of War, God of War, God of
Hmm.
War, Sons of Sparta, but that game has been um what
Marred.
marred is marred, right? That game has
Hmm.
been marred with controversy in terms of this game is not that great, or like this game is fine. I think right now on Open Critic it's actually settling at a 72. Um, and yeah, it's a 72 right now with how many reviews? How many reviews? 13 reviews. So it's not that much. Um, it's unfortunate because I was very excited about this game.
Hmm.
We knew it from the ethers of the internet, from rumor mills here and there, that this game was coming eventually, and it seems like this game might have been somewhat on the back burner because it wasn't necessarily to the same quality as like the God of War games that we know, but from what I've heard about it, the people who are playing it, they have found fun in the game, and they do think that it
Hmm.
is like good. It's not a bad game. It's just not up to the same quality as like the other God of War games or even other like Metroidvania games. So that's the thing where I'm just kind of like holding off on. Um, I I downloaded the demo to um, Neo 3,
Yeah.
and basically sort of like how you played the tutorial for Highguard and you're just like, nah, I'm good. I
Hmm.
played the tutorial for this game and I was like, nah, I'm good. I now I do admit I have not played much of this game. As I said, I just played the tutorial. But I don't know where the love for this game comes from because one, it doesn't look that great. I'm sorry, it doesn't look that great. And then the combat system seems like you're doing too much for too little. Like the the main system in the game. Now I'm just going to tell this to you, Shawnee. You tell me if this is a cool idea or just convoluted for no reason. So when you do a basic attack,
Hmm.
you when you do a basic combo, I should say, like a 3-hit combo, a 2-hit combo, 4-hit combo, you have these blue light like shimmers kind of float around you,
Yep.
and you have to press, I think it's R2 to collect it. And when you collect it, because this game is kind of stamina based, and when you do attacks, you drain your stamina. When you collect the blue shimmer stuff, you get some of your stamina back.
Mm. Okay, active reload type of system.
Yes, but for literally every attack you do in the game.
I'm sure there's an upgrade or some type of something to alleviate
I don't
that.
know. Like it was described as a basic mechanic in the game. And I was like, you tell me I have to do this for every fight? Like, now you know what? You know
Let me
what?
dig into it and I'll see what the hell all this hubbub is about.
Yeah. Well, it was that I played a little bit of that, and I was just like, no, I'm good. And then I jumped over to um the new gotcha game like Enfield or whatever, and what is it called? Yeah, Enfield something. And yeah, I just turned it on. I was like, you know what? I don't know. I'm gonna deal with this later because it was just a bunch of reading and like
DJ, stop sucking at the game and go finish Returnal if you want a game to play.
Oh yeah, I haven't. The thing is, I feel like I am so close to Crimson Desert that I can taste it, and it is dry, but it's there, and it's like
So you're gonna
it's
bounce
right
around
there.
games like a whore until Crimson Desert comes out. Go play Returnal.
I've been playing Baldur's Gate, but not really
Mm-hmm.
playing it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm just in that holding pattern. Yeah, I could do Returnal, but I'm only gonna play it if you play it though, because I'm not gonna
Get better. Stop holding. Stop having me hold your hand.
No, hold my hand, Sean. Let's do it together. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Next week I might have Mugenics, or I might cave and get Sons of Sparta and be like, hey guys, turns out this game's a great game. I was just wrong last week. We'll find out next week, because this has been another episode of Press X Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode, especially if you enjoy making it. Don't forget, you can support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell. Thought I heard my child. Don't forget, you can also leave us a review on whatever podcast service you're tuned in on. Yes, do that. And then if you want, you can join our Discord by going to pressx2start.com/Discord while it's still there, because things are happening. Yeah. So that's that. Take care. Be safe. Keep playing games. Wash your hands. I don't know. Be good to your neighbor. Remember, when you order water at a restaurant, you know what to say. All right, guys. Bye.
Peace.
I'm not ready.